Hi everyone, my name is Avni Kapoor and today I'll be sharing a short presentation on costing for mHealth interventions using the example of ICDS CAS. While the actual numbers are still being finalized, I'll be focusing much more today on methods, some results, and broad lessons on what we learned while undertaking the costing. As you know, ICDS CAS is the world's largest mHealth intervention, with a vision to use technology to reach 1 million Anganwadi workers. It acts as a job aid for Anganwadi workers by giving them regular information including on counseling, timely nudges, and also meant to streamline data collection and record keeping. But while we've seen an increasing use of technology now, there's relatively less information on what goes into setting up and running an mHealth program, such as CAS. Today we'll focus a little bit on that, by first understanding the cost components, second, by seeing how they change over a period of time, and finally, since costing requires many assumptions, we look at a few scenarios as well. We use the ABCI method or the activity-based costing ingredients method. The ABC part assumes that each program is a sum of its activities and each activity can be described as a cost center that's mutually exhaustive and exclusive. The I uses the idea that each program can be broken down into ingredients and the sum of all ingredients equals costs. While this is usually the method used by many costing studies, there are a few limitations that should be stated up front. While programs tend to evolve and tend to be dynamic in nature, data is collected at a specific point of time, making it difficult to have annual costs. This leads to the second limitation that one may miss out on efficiency gains as one rolls out a program. Another caveat is, of course, data availability. We struggle to get certain data, particularly time use costs, and have to rely on assumptions. In other cases, we have to rely on data from one state, in our case, Madhya Pradesh, which may or may not be representative or generalizable. Finally, something that's true for all costing studies, estimates are dependent on the assumptions used, and any change in the assumptions can, of course, alter costs. So let's come to the broad findings we wanted to share today. The program can be broadly broken into three components: software and devices, which are the bulk, training, and then, of course, administration. But these are still quite broad and it's useful to drill down till we actually reach the ingredients. So this is an example of administration. As you can see, it includes both the central administration and also the state administration. But one also needs to account for everything. So whether it's facilities, which itself can be broken into a number of smaller components, or the different types of personnel that may exist, or even incentives for Anganwadi workers need to be included. Similarly, within softwares and devices, while devices are the bulk, it's not just the cost of purchasing the device, but also the SIM card costs, the network costs, etc. that need to be accounted for. Having established the cost profile, we next wanted to see how these costs change year on year. So in year one, as you can see, devices accounted for the bulk at 55%, followed by training at 18%. But in year two, the share of devices falls to 27%. And instead the majority is for state administration at 37%. This is typical of most activities where setup costs are usually high and upfront. In this case as well, 59% were non-recurring in the first year. But when costing for technological interventions, it's important to remember that there is a shelf life. Typically, devices will need to be replaced every 3 years. And as a result, you have this cyclical nature of costs. As this graph shows, if gas costs 100 rupees in year 1, it would cost 41 rupees in year 2 and 3, but then again increases to 87 in year 4. You'll see similar spikes in year 7 and year 10, primarily due to device replacement. As one is thinking of costing, it's important to account for these. Finally, another critical thing in any costing study is the role of assumptions. Here's an example of state administration. We found that how many hours are spent by the staff on CAS causes relatively small change in costs, but choosing to give incentives to Anganwadi workers caused significant changes. Costs are of course larger when infrastructure needs to be still bought. We regularly tested our different scenarios and also thought through where and why the most probable scenario lay, but it was also equally important to provide variability. To conclude, we feel that even the method of costing studies can provide a useful framework for planning and budgeting, as they provide a disaggregated view of the intervention into activities and ingredients, but also looks at how these costs change over a period of time. As India embarks on more technology-based interventions, such frameworks can come in handy. It can also be used as toolkits. Finally, of course, cost studies are the first step to cost effectiveness, critical in these resource-constrained times. Thank you so much for the time, and we look forward to your comments. Thank you.